Hey, what's up, gangsters? Steven here. I'm going to do a short tutorial today to show you guys how you can add a glowing strobe effect to your text or a strobe effect onto a video clip you have, just like you see here. There's the text, and then that's a strobe on a video clip. Let's go ahead and I'll show you step by step how I did this. First thing you're going to want to do is go in, you're going to click your icon here, the type tool, to add your text. Click onto the video and type whatever it is you want to type. Once you have that, you make sure you highlight. It's going to pull up a Essential Graphics clip right here. You highlight that, and you go over here to your Essential Graphics tab. Make sure you have the text highlighted, and you can adjust the size by clicking this button, your selection tool, and it'll pull up an adjuster here, and then you can go ahead and center it and do whatever you want. My text is already outlined because that's, I guess, it keeps it the settings the way you on the last text that you use. So I'll show you guys how to get that after this is done saving. So usually when you come in and you have this highlighted, if you go down here to where it says appearance, the fill box is going to be checked and the stroke is going to be unchecked. So what you're going to want to do is come here and you're going to want to check the stroke and uncheck the fill. And the stroke over here to adjust the thickness of it is to the right. So you can see how you can adjust that. I like to keep it at about a 1 or a 1.5 to make it, you know, kind of give it that fluorescent type look. But you could do whatever you want, play with it, and get it to whatever you want, whatever's going to fit your project. So then you can also change the color to whatever you want it to change to. So once you have that, then you're going to go ahead and close your Essential Graphics and go to the Effects tab, and you can, what you're going to want to do up here in the search box is type in strobe, S-T-R-O-B-E, for those of you that don't know how to spell. You can do it that way, or you can go into the video effects, stylize, or excuse me, you can go video effects, stylize, and then the strobe light, and then you drag it down onto your clip. So once you have that onto your clip, you make sure your clip is highlighted, go over to your effects control tab up here, and you're going to want to go down to the bottom till you see the effect for the strobe light. Make sure you drop that down and you'll see all the options that you can use to adjust this. So the first one that I like to do just to start with is I'll look at the blend with original, which means basically the strobe is going to come in right now with a white color. When it strobes in, you'll see it comes in as a solid white. If you blend it with the original, like let's see here, say we change that to around 70%. Now see how it's not coming in so prominent? That's because it's basically taking the opacity down on that strobe that's coming in. So you can play with that, get it to however you want it. You know, if you want it more prominent or not. The higher level, or the higher you push this up, the more it's going to blend in. And then the next thing you want to go to is where it says random strobe probability right here. We'll go ahead and move this to around 50%, and you'll see basically what this is it's when you have it at 50%, it's going to strobe evenly. So see how it's coming in? Now you can adjust that to 30% and it's going to be more sporadic. See how it's the lengths are all different? And then if you go above 50%, the same thing. So you play with that and get it to look like what you want. Usually you're going to want the random strobe probability out, you know, either above or below the 50% if you're trying to get the effect of a fluorescent light. Because that's kind of how they flicker. They don't always flicker at the same rate. So, okay, once you have that set up the way you want it, to get the glow effect, what you want to do is you want to duplicate your clip. So you do that by holding down the Alt key, highlighting or clicking the clip and dragging it up. Now you have two clips. Okay, make sure the second clip is highlighted. You're going to go back up to your effects panel here, and you're going to type in Gaussian, G-A-U-S-S. And you're going to get the Gaussian blur, and you can do that by typing it in or going to video effects, blur and sharpen, and then Gaussian blur. So you drag that down onto the bottom layer. Once that's on the bottom layer, then you come down here to where it says Gaussian blur in your effects panel, and you're going to look at the blurriness option here. You want to bring the blur up on that bottom, and you can already see how the text looks like it's kind of glowing. I've got that up to about 27. And see how it's got that glowing effect? You can go up even higher. And then what you can do is go to the top layer and go to your effects panel and bring down the opacity a little bit on that top layer. So now it's got more of a glow. So that's pretty much how you add the glow effect, glowing strobe effect to your text. I'll go ahead and show you how to do it really quick onto a video clip. It's the same thing pretty much without duplicating the layers. We're just going to add the strobe effect to it. You go back, pull up your strobe effect, drag it onto your video layer, and you want to make sure the layer or the clip is highlighted. And go back down to, I think this is right here. I'm going to blend it. I'm going to move it up to about like 75%. And then you do the random strobe probability, do it around, I don't know, around 50%. And there you go. If you blend it even more, you'll get a more subtle strobe. And that's pretty much it. That's how you do it. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful. Hopefully you learned something from it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more tutorials on Adobe Premiere, I will be putting up more tutorials. If you're just learning, most of my tutorials are kind of beginner type tutorials. They're not really in depth how to do really complicated things in Adobe Premiere, just more or less things that you may want to do for a project you're working on that you can't figure out how to do. I usually do tutorials like that. So if you're interested, please subscribe. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.